Did you know when the first slot machine was ever created? In the 1890s. 3 reels, a gigantic pull lever, and a coin dispenser. As simple as that. And right off the bat, it became a sensation. Nowadays, casinos are filled with fast-paced casino reels meant for players to lose money. And today, former casino workers are revealing 9 things that disappeared from slot machines over the past decades. And what they're saying about why these changes happened will completely change how you view modern slots. The casino industry doesn't want you thinking about what you've lost. Let's break down the 9 things that disappeared from slot machines and why casino workers say you should care about each one. Number 9. Actual mechanical reels. Walk onto any modern casino floor and you'll see thousands of video screens displaying virtual reels, completely embracing the digital age. Physical mechanical reels, the kind with actual metal strips and physical symbols, have almost completely disappeared. It's a lost art, and according to people who worked with both types of machines, this change fundamentally altered the relationship between player and game. Mechanical reels were physical objects governed by physical laws. There were a limited number of stops on each reel, typically 20 to 30 positions. This meant the math was transparent in a way. A mathematical genius could theoretically count the symbols and understand their actual odds of hitting certain combinations, which obviously can help you pick the right slots to play. But more importantly, mechanical reels had physical limitations that protected players. The reels could only spin so fast. They needed time to stop. This created natural pacing that slowed down gameplay and gave players mental breaks between spins. Video reels eliminated all of these limitations. A virtual reel can have hundreds of virtual stops, far more than would be physically possible on a mechanical strip. This allows casinos to make jackpot symbols exponentially rarer without the player being able to see the difference. The math becomes hidden, obscured behind graphics and animation. Those who service these machines explain that video reels also enable something called virtual reel mapping. The symbols you see on the screen don't necessarily correspond to the actual probability of those symbols appearing. A virtual reel might display an equal number of cherry symbols and 7 symbols, making them appear equally common, but the underlying code can make 7s appear 10 times less frequently than cherries. The other critical change is speed. Video reels can spin and stop almost instantaneously. There's no physical momentum to overcome. This means players can complete spins at a much faster rate, sometimes 3 to 5 times faster than was possible with mechanical reels. More spins per hour means more money wagered per hour, which means faster losses for the player. Casino workers watched this transition happen in the early 2000s. The mechanical reel machines were slowly replaced by video slots, and player loss rates increased dramatically. The games looked similar on the surface, but the underlying mathematics and the pace of play had changed in ways that heavily favored the casino. But if you think faster spins are ruining modern slots, wait until you hear what disappeared from the payout process and how that change affects your awareness of losses. Number 8. Physical coin drops and coin hoppers. Anyone who played slots before the mid-2000s remembers the sound of coins dropping into the metal tray when you won. That clanging, jingling cascade of quarters or tokens was satisfying in a visceral way. But it also served a critical function that most players didn't realize. It made money real and tangible. When you fed dollar bills into a machine and received no physical coins, when you won and heard coins physically dropping, you maintained a concrete sense of money as a real thing. It's not just numbers on the screen. You could see your winnings, hold them, count them. The weight of a bucket full of quarters represented your success in a way that felt genuine. Now you might be wondering, why did this old tradition in the casino suddenly fade away? Before I answer that, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and share with us your best memory playing slots back in the day. Now back to the video. The casino industry eliminated coins entirely in favor of ticket-in, ticket-out systems. Now you insert cash, it converts to credits on a screen, and when you're done, you get a printed ticket. No coins, no physical representation of money at any point in the process. People who worked through this transition explain that removing physical coins had several effects on player behavior, all of them increasing casino profits. First, it completely abstracted the concept of money. Credits on a screen don't feel like real money the way coins in your hand do. This psychological distance makes it easier to bet larger amounts and chase losses. Second, the ticket system eliminated what workers call cash-out friction. With coins, leaving a machine was a process. You had to call an attendant if you won a large amount, or you had to physically carry your bucket of coins to a redemption window, wait in line, and count out your winnings. This friction created natural stopping points where players could evaluate whether to continue gambling or leave. With tickets, cashing out is instantaneous and frictionless. You hit a button, grab your ticket, and you can immediately insert it into another machine. There's no pause, no moment of reflection, no physical process that makes you think about your decision. This seamless flow keeps players gambling longer. Third, tickets made small amounts of remaining money easier to gamble away. With coins, if you were down to your last $5 in quarters, you had a physical stack of coins that represented that money. You could feel it diminishing as you played. With tickets, $5 is just a number on a slip of paper that's easy to feed into one more machine on your way out the door. Players who used to cash out coins and leave would now chase smaller and smaller ticket amounts, bouncing from machine to machine because the money never felt real enough to preserve. The industry understood this psychology perfectly, and they exploited it. And speaking of exploitation through psychological manipulation, Number 7 removed a feature that gave players a sense of control and participation. Number 7, pull down slot levers. The iconic image of slot machine gambling is someone pulling down a large, mechanical lever on the side of the machine. That lever was more than just a way to start the game. According to people familiar with casino psychology, it served important functions that benefited players, which is exactly why the industry worked to eliminate it. Physical slot levers required effort. You had to reach over, grasp the handle, and pull it down with enough force to engage the mechanism. This physical action created what psychologists call embodied cognition. Your body was actively participating in the gambling process, which created a stronger sense of agency and control. But more importantly, the lever imposed pacing. After pulling the lever, you had to wait for the reels to spin and stop before you could pull again. Your arm needed to reset to the starting position. This created natural gaps between spins that gave your brain time to process what just happened and make a conscious decision about whether to continue. Modern slots replace levers with buttons. Specifically, they replace them with buttons that can be pressed repeatedly as fast as you can tap. Some machines even have autoplay features that eliminate the need to press anything at all. The game just spins continuously until you stop it or run out of money. Button-based play increases spin rate dramatically. A player using a lever might complete 30 to 40 spins per hour. The same player using a button can easily complete 80 to 100 spins per hour, or even more with autoplay enabled. Double the spins means double the money wagered, which means significantly faster losses. The industry justified removing levers by claiming players found them old-fashioned or tiring. But the real reason is obvious to anyone who worked on casino floors. Levers slowed down play, and slower play means less revenue per machine. Buttons accelerate play, and acceleration means profit. Some modern machines still have fake levers, decorative handles that don't actually engage any mechanical process. You pull the handle and it simply sends an electronic signal identical to pressing the button. These fake levers exist purely for nostalgia and aesthetics. They provide none of the pacing benefits of real mechanical levers because they require no force and engage no physical mechanism that imposes delay. The careful, deliberate pulling motion was replaced by rapid, almost unconscious button pressing. Players went into autopilot mode, tapping the button over and over without conscious thought, which is exactly what the machines are designed to encourage. But if you think rapid button pressing is problematic, number 6 reveals how the fundamental structure of slot games was simplified in a way that actually made them more dangerous for players. Number 6, classic 3-reel simplicity. The simpler, the better. The original slot machines had 3 reels and a single pay line across the middle. You lined up 3 matching symbols on that center line, and you won. The structure was simple, transparent, and easy to understand. You knew exactly what you needed to hit and could see immediately whether you won or lost. Modern slots have 5 reels, sometimes 6 or 7. They have pay lines that zigzag across the screen in dozens or even hundreds of different patterns. Some games have 243 ways to win, or even 3,600 ways to win. The screens are filled with information, flashing symbols, and complex rules about what constitutes a winning combination. This sounds like progress. More ways to win should be better for players, right? But people who understand slot mathematics reveal a different truth. More complexity doesn't mean better odds, it means obscured odds. With a simple 3-reel single payline machine, the math was straightforward. You could see that there were 3 sevens on each reel out of 20 total symbols. You could calculate your odds of hitting 3 sevens at 1 in 8,000. The transparency was inherent in the simplicity. With a modern multi-reel, multi-line game, calculating your actual odds is functionally impossible for a regular player. You'd need to know the virtual reel mapping, understand how the paylines interact, account for wild symbols and scatter symbols and multipliers. The complexity creates a fog where players can't assess whether they're getting good value or terrible value. But here's the more insidious aspect that casino workers point out. Modern multi-line slots created something called losses disguised as wins. You bet 50 cents across multiple paylines, you hit a winning combination that pays 20 cents, and the machine celebrates with sounds and graphics as if you won. But you didn't win, you lost 30 cents. Yet your brain registered it as a winning experience because of the celebration. This phenomenon doesn't exist on classic 3-reel single-line machines. You either win more than you bet, or you lose. There's no ambiguity, no confusion, no disguised losses masquerading as wins. The outcome is binary and clear. It's just losses disguised as wins that have a powerful psychological effect. They prevent the negative feedback that should discourage continued gambling. On a classic machine, losing 10 spins in a row feels bad and might prompt you to stop. On a modern machine, you might win small amounts on 5 of those 10 spins, even though you're still losing overall. The positive reinforcement keeps you playing despite net losses. The complexity also allows casinos to advertise misleading statistics. A game might claim a 95% RTP, return to player, but that number is averaged across all the pay lines and all possible bet configurations. Your actual RTP playing a specific way might be significantly lower, but the complexity makes it impossible to verify. Casino workers watched players become more confused and disoriented as slots became more complex. 3-reel simplicity protected players by making the game transparent. Modern complexity protects the casino by making the game impossible to analyze. And speaking of things that used to be slower and more protective of players, Number 5 changed the fundamental pace of slot gambling in a way that people who worked with these machines describe as devastating. Number 5, slower, more relaxed gameplay. This connects to several of the previous points, but deserves its own emphasis because casino workers consistently cite gameplay speed as the single biggest factor in increased player losses over the past 20 years. And of course, the faster the slot, the faster the casino rakes in money. Old slot machines operated at a measured pace. Mechanical reels took several seconds to spin and stop. You pulled a lever which required physical motion. Coins dropped into a hopper which took time. The entire cycle from initiating one spin to being able to start the next spin took anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds. Modern video slots can complete a spin cycle in under 2 seconds. Press the button, virtual reels instantly appear and stop. Credits are immediately added or subtracted. If you're using autoplay, spins can occur even faster, potentially completing 30 spins in a minute. Let's look at the mathematics of this change. Old machines at 8 seconds per spin allowed you to complete about 450 spins per hour. At $1 per spin, that's $450 wagered per hour. With a 92% RTP, you'd expect to lose about $36 per hour. Modern machines at 2 seconds per spin allow 1,800 spins per hour. At $1 per spin, that's $1,800 wagered per hour. With the same 92% RTP, you'd expect to lose $144 per hour. Same bet size, same RTP, but 4 times the expected hourly loss purely because of speed. People who watch this evolution on casino floors describe it as shocking. Players who used to enjoy a 3 or 4 hour slot session on a $100 bankroll suddenly found themselves broke in 30 minutes. The games felt similar, but the pace had accelerated to a point where bankrolls couldn't sustain it. The psychological impact is even worse than the mathematical impact. At a slower pace, you have time to think between spins. You can evaluate whether you're ahead or behind. You can decide to cash out. You can notice that you're not having fun anymore. These moments of conscious awareness are protective. At modern speeds, conscious thought becomes impossible. You're in what psychologists call a flow state, but it's a destructive flow state. Your hand is tapping the button rhythmically, your eyes are glazed over watching the reels, and your conscious decision-making is suspended. You're in a trance, and you'll stay in that trance until something dramatic happens, like running completely out of money or until external forces interrupt you. Casino workers describe having to physically shake regular players to get their attention because they were so locked into the rapid-fire rhythm of modern slots. These players would look up confused, unaware of how long they'd been playing or how much they'd lost. The speed prevented awareness, and lack of awareness prevented responsible gambling decisions. The industry knows exactly what it's doing with gameplay speed. Every millisecond of delay removed from the spin cycle represents increased revenue. The elimination of forced pauses and the acceleration of every aspect of gameplay was deliberate and calculated. And just like gameplay got faster and more overwhelming, number 4 reveals how the casino industry removed audio cues that used to give players important information. Number 4. Distinct jackpot bells and sirens. Old slot machines had very specific sounds for different outcomes. Small wins made a pleasant chime, medium wins triggered a louder bell. Jackpots set off loud sirens and flashing lights that everyone in the casino could see and hear. These distinct audio cues served an important information function that benefited players. Old slot machines just have those satisfying sound effects that many players really miss. The sounds told you, and everyone around you, exactly what level of win had occurred. When you heard a jackpot siren go off across the casino floor, you knew someone just hit something significant. This provided social proof that jackpots were actually possible and that the casino paid them out. It also created realistic expectations about jackpot frequency. If you spent 5 hours in a casino and heard 3 jackpot sirens, you could estimate that major wins happened roughly every 2 hours or so across the whole floor. Modern slots have replaced distinct outcome sounds with constant audio stimulation. Every spin has music, sound effects, celebratory noises. Winning 5 cents triggers the same enthusiastic audio response as winning $5. The machine whoops and cheers for essentially every outcome, making it impossible to distinguish significant wins from trivial ones based on audio cues alone. People who worked through this transition explain that homogenized sound design serves several casino interests. First, it eliminates the social proof element. You can't tell by listening whether anyone else is winning or how often significant wins occur. This prevents you from calibrating your expectations based on observed reality. Second, constant celebration sounds create a positive association with playing, regardless of whether you're actually winning. Your brain hears exciting music and cheering sounds and releases dopamine even when you're losing money. This tricks your reward system into thinking you're having success when you're actually hemorrhaging cash. Third, the elimination of distinct jackpot sounds removes a trigger for healthy envy. When you used to hear jackpot sirens and see flashing lights, you might feel a bit envious but also satisfied that you'd witnessed a real win. Now, without those clear signals, jackpots feel more mythical, more like something that happens somewhere else to someone else, but never quite where you can see it. Those who managed casino floors note that modern sound design also prevents players from tracking their own wins meaningfully. On an old machine, you knew immediately when you hit something significant because the machine's audio response was proportional to the win size. On modern machines, you have to actively check the credit meter to determine if what just happened was meaningful or trivial, and most players in a flow state don't do that. They just hear celebration and assume things are going well. The constant positive audio feedback, combined with losses disguised as wins, creates a completely distorted perception of how you're actually performing. You can be down $50 but feel like you're doing great because the machine has been cheering for you non-stop. And just like audio clarity disappeared, number 3 eliminated a payout structure that used to make wins and losses completely unambiguous. Number 3, single-line payout simplicity. This ties closely with the disappearance of three-reel simplicity, but focuses specifically on the payout structure. Old slot machines had a single pay line and a simple payout table displayed on the machine face. 3 cherries paid 5 coins, 3 bars paid 20 coins, 3 sevens paid 100 coins. You could look at the payout table, understand exactly what each combination paid, and make an informed decision about whether the game offered acceptable value. Modern multi-line video slots have payout structures so complex they require multiple screens of information to explain. Different symbols pay different amounts depending on how many appear, what pay line they're on, whether wild symbols are involved, and whether you're in bonus mode. Some games have escalating multipliers, cascading reels, expanding wilds, and mystery symbols that transform into other symbols. Casino workers explain that this complexity serves one primary purpose: to make it impossible for players to assess whether they're getting good value. When the payout structure is too complex to understand, you can't determine if a 95% RTP is being delivered honestly or if the game is paying less than advertised. But the more immediate impact is on player psychology. With single-line simplicity, you knew instantly whether a spin was successful. 3 bars appeared on the line, you won 20 coins, period. The outcome was unambiguous and the value was clear. With modern complexity, you see symbols landing all over the screen, pay lines lighting up in various patterns, numbers counting up rapidly, and you have no idea if what just happened was good or bad without carefully analyzing the credit meter. Most players don't do that analysis, they just see activity and lights and assume something positive happened. This allows the game to deliver lots of small, meaningless wins that feel like success but don't actually compensate for your bets. You might bet $1 and win 40 cents, and the game celebrates enthusiastically. You feel like you won, even though you lost 60 cents. With single-line simplicity, this manipulation isn't possible. Either you won more than you bet, or you didn't. There's no middle ground. Complex payout structures also enable the casino to reduce actual payout percentages, while making it appear that the game is hitting frequently. A player might win something on 40% of spins, but still lose money steadily, because most of those wins are smaller than the original bet. On a simple single-line machine, if you're winning less than you're betting, you know it immediately. On a complex multi-line machine, the constant winning symbols and celebration obscure the fact that you're losing. The opacity benefits the casino and harms the player. Single-line simplicity forced honesty. Multi-line complexity enables deception. Number 2, looser payback percentages. This might surprise people because it seems counterintuitive. How can tighter payback percentages be something players miss? But people who worked in casinos through the transition from mechanical to video slots explain that old machines genuinely paid out at higher rates than modern machines, and the reasons why reveal how the industry manipulates players. Mechanical slot machines from the 80s and 90s typically had RTPs ranging from 94 to 96%. Some of the better casino had machines running at 97 or 98%. The physical limitations of mechanical reels meant there was a ceiling on how tight the casino could make the math. Additionally, competition between casinos was fiercer, and loose slots were a genuine competitive advantage that casinos advertised. As video slots took over, RTPs began creeping downward. Modern video slots commonly run at 91 to 93%, sometimes even lower. The casino industry will claim the averages haven't changed, but those who worked with the actual machines and saw the configuration settings tell a different story. Here's why this happened. Video slots eliminated the physical constraints that limited how tight mechanical machines could be programmed. A mechanical reel can only have so many stops, which limits how rare you can make jackpot symbols. Video reels can have unlimited virtual stops, allowing jackpot symbols to be exponentially rarer while still appearing with the same frequency on the visible reels. Additionally, video slots introduced complex bonus features, free spin modes, and progressive jackpots. These features allowed casinos to advertise higher theoretical RTPs because they averaged in the rare massive payouts, while the base game paid significantly less. A slot might claim a 95% RTP, but that includes someone hitting a $50,000 progressive jackpot once every 100,000 spins. For the regular player in a regular session, the effective RTP might be 90 or 91%. Those who tracked machine performance data explain that the combination of lower base RTPs and faster gameplay speeds created a devastating compound effect. Players were not only facing worse odds per spin, but they were also completing spins at 3 to 4 times the rate. The mathematical expectation shifted from losing $30 to $40 per hour on old machines to losing $120 to $160 per hour on modern machines. The industry obscured this change by making video slots more entertaining and exciting. Better graphics, more sounds, complex bonus features. Players were having more fun losing their money faster, and they didn't realize how dramatically the mathematics had shifted against them until their bankrolls were gone. This is dubbed as the greatest deception of the video slot era. The games got better looking and more engaging, while simultaneously becoming significantly worse bets for players. The entertainment value increased while the actual value decreased. And if you think tighter RTPs combined with faster play is the worst thing that happened to slot players, number 1 reveals the final piece of the puzzle that completed the transformation of slots from simple gambling devices into sophisticated money extraction machines. Number 1, fewer bonus animations and distractions. This is going to sound backward because modern slots are filled with elaborate bonus animations, mini games, pick features, free spin cinematics, and constant visual activity. So how can fewer bonus animations be something players miss? People who worked with both generations of machines explain the critical difference. Old mechanical slots had no bonus animations. If you won, the reel stopped, the lights flashed, and you got paid. That was it. The lack of animations meant that every spin was quick, the outcome was immediate, and the game didn't waste your time. You could play, evaluate whether you were winning or losing, and make decisions efficiently. Modern video slots turned gambling into entertainment, and entertainment requires time. Bonus rounds on contemporary machines can last 3 to 5 minutes with elaborate animations. Pick features where you select symbols on screen, free spin sequences with cinematics, and multiplier reveals that build suspense through staged unveilings. Every second you spend watching animations is a second you're captive to that machine. Not walking away, not cashing out, not making rational decisions about whether to continue gambling. The animations aren't there to enhance your experience, they're there to trap you. The bonus features are specifically designed to create what's called the escalation of commitment. Once you trigger a bonus round, you feel invested. You've been playing for 30 minutes waiting for this feature to hit, and now that it's finally happening, you watch the entire 3-minute animation sequence. When it's over, even if the payout was disappointing, you've just spent 3 minutes building emotional investment in this machine. Walking away immediately after feels wrong, so you play more base game spins, hoping to trigger another bonus. Those who watched players at these machines describe a cycle that repeats endlessly. Play base game, trigger bonus, watch long animation, get mediocre payout, feel obligated to keep playing because you just invested time in the bonus, play more base game, trigger another bonus. The animations create psychological momentum that keeps players seated far longer than they would be without them. But this is where it gets more tricky. The bonus animations are designed to create near-miss scenarios within themselves. During a pick bonus, you might select 5 symbols, and 3 of them reveal small prizes, while 2 reveal collect symbols that end the feature. But the game shows you what was hidden behind the symbols you didn't pick. You see that you were 1 pick away from the multiplier, 1 choice away from the free spins extension. This creates regret and the desire to trigger the bonus again to make better choices next time, even though the choices aren't actually choices. The outcomes are predetermined. Free spin bonuses are even more insidious. The machine shows you 10 free spins playing out at the same speed as regular spins, or sometimes even slower with extended animations. You watch for 2 or 3 minutes as the free spins accumulate small wins, occasionally hitting something that looks promising, but rarely delivering a payout that justifies the time spent waiting for the bonus to trigger in the first place. The lack of bonus animations on old machines meant the game respected your time. You pulled the lever, you saw the outcome in 3 seconds, you made your decision about the next spin. Modern bonus animations deliberately waste your time to increase session length and prevent rational decision-making. Session length is one of the most important metrics the industry tracks. The longer they keep you seated at a machine, the more money you'll lose. Bonus animations are incredibly effective at increasing session length because players feel like they can't leave during a bonus, and they feel obligated to play more after a bonus, and they keep chasing the next bonus because the animations made the previous one feel meaningful even if it wasn't. The entertainment factor also disguises how much you're losing. On an old mechanical slot, losing $50 in 30 minutes felt bad. You were obviously losing money, the experience wasn't particularly entertaining, and you'd likely stop. On a modern video slot, losing $50 in 30 minutes happens while you're watching elaborate animations, hearing celebration sounds, seeing visual effects, and feeling like you're part of an exciting experience. The loss doesn't feel as painful because you're entertained, which means you'll continue losing more money before the negative feedback becomes strong enough to make you stop. This is the culmination of everything that disappeared from slots: mechanical authenticity replaced by virtual manipulation, physical coins replaced by abstract credits, measured pacing replaced by frantic speed, simple payouts replaced by calculated confusion, honest sounds replaced by constant celebration, and finally, quick outcomes replaced by time-consuming animations designed to trap you psychologically. People who worked through this transformation watched the slot floor evolve from a place where people gambled for entertainment into a place where sophisticated machines exploit human psychology for maximum profit extraction. Every change, every innovation, every new feature was designed with one goal: keep players seated longer and losing money faster while making them feel entertained enough that they don't realize what's happening until it's too late. So there you have it, 9 things that disappeared from slot machines over the past 2 decades, and every single one of them made slots more profitable for casinos and more dangerous for players. Whether it's the physical reality of coins making money tangible, the forced pacing of mechanical levers, the clarity of 3-reel simplicity, or the honesty of distinct jackpot sounds, these lost features protect players in ways that modern convenience and excitement can never replace.